Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at WagerTalk.com. All daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including $40 5% best bets. As an added bonus, all new users will receive $25 in wager bucks credited to their accounts, available for immediate use after their initial $9 Monday purchase. So make sure to take advantage of $9 Mondays at WagerTalk.com.
Welcome, everybody. It's a new week. It's Monday, August 9th, $9 Mondays at WagerTalk today at WagerTalk Today with a comma. Now you're watching WagerTalk Today, no comma. I'm the Prez. Teddy Covers joining us. Teddy, we got Marco right off the top, man. We're going to talk Cincinnati, Cleveland baseball game, the Yankees, Jacksonville. We're going to talk some NFL football, Cleveland at Jacksonville. Tony Mejia up after that couple. He's going to talk San Diego Chargers, Miami. He's got a bet as well in the NFL and an NBA future bet that I want to talk to him about. What's up with you, bro? How was your weekend?
Let's start with this, Lawrence. Yes,
oh, God.
It's Monday.
Oh, geez. Oh.
Yes, it's a Monday. But it's football Monday, dude. The appropriate level of excitement isn't there. This is a football week. We have 16 NFL games to break down and bet on. And I know that it's not the regular season yet. But, oh, yeah, we got the football. No! We've got some freaking football.
Dan, let's go back to the beginning, please. Welcome, everyone. WagerTalk Today. We got NFL football. It's this week. 16 games. We're not going to take apart most of them, but we do have some great guests today. Marco D with us. He's got an NFL play to talk about. Tony M NFL play. Teddy Covers. Are you kidding me? All this guy talks about is the NFL, and his big game breakdown is on a baseball play. With that said, did you win this weekend, Teddy?
That was much better, Lawrence. That's the appropriate level of excitement. Yes, I had a very simple weekend for the clients. I bet the Phillies on Friday. I bet the Phillies on Saturday. And I bet the Phillies on Sunday. The Phillies won on Friday. They won on Saturday. They won on Sunday. So couldn't have been easier. It was really
talk about that.
Do I just ride it? I'm like, yes, you just ride it.
And
easy peasy.
And Teddy,
3 plays, 3 winners.
Teddy, I'm so glad you mentioned that because, that's literally what you and I were talking about last week, right? Series to series, picking teams for a longer period of time than just that one day and really sticking to it. And I did the same with the Cincinnati Reds. I had them twice on the run line. They won both times. So, yeah, and guys listening to the show, it's a real important message because it really is the best way to attack baseball, not looking at it so much from a day-to-day or game-to-game perspective, but more just finding a team that you feel will win over a certain period of time and just riding it out. Good for you, man. Nicely done.
Yeah, the concept, the concept, Lawrence, is very much, not trying to reinvent the wheel every day. Here's a Philadelphia Phillies team that I thought was an undervalued commodity coming out of the All-Star break. It's a Mets team that isn't hitting at all. The momentum is flowing. Every quote coming out of the locker room is pointing in one direction. And the betting markets tend to be slow to react in August. That's not, yes, what did we learn this weekend? We learned that the favorites are killing it. It's that time of year in MLB. Favorites 55-18 over the last 5 days. Last place teams like the Rangers, the Pirates, the Orioles, all on 5+ game losing streaks. And then you have, elite playoff contenders like the Rays and the Yankees and the A's, the Blue Jays, the Reds, the Phillies, the Giants. They're all hot right now.
Yeah.
And we saw over the weekend, Friday night, the chalk started 11-0 before there was a couple of late rallies. The D-backs rallied against the Padres, the Angels rallied against the Dodgers, and the Twins rallied against the Astros. That was on pace to being a 15-0 night for favorites. before that happened. And it didn't happen as much on Saturday or Sunday, but it's still, when you talk about 55-18 over a 5-day span for the chalk, that's meaningful. And MLB, Prez, we've talked about this a couple of times, but it's worth mentioning one more time because this is what it's like in August. All right, August baseball, you want to put it in its own different category because these are the dog days. The bad teams don't have the energy. The good teams are just smacking them. And MLB is different from point spread sports. You can't turn a winner into a loser with the spread like you can in football. In football or basketball, a team reels off a bunch of wins or a bunch of losses, and eventually the point spread catches up and turns winners into losers. That'll never happen in a money line sport like MLB. Yeah. You can't price a winner and turn it into a loser. So the books just have to hope, hey, one of these days the Phillies are going to lose, or the Giants or the Reds or the Blue Jays or the A's or the Yankees, et cetera, and we'll make our money back on that one day or over the next few days when that team cools off. But when the hot teams are winning in August and the cold teams are losing, there's nothing the books can do about it. And we certainly saw some of that this past weekend, Prez. What about you? What'd you
got? Well, and we also saw, we saw Bueller with a minus 320, and he covered easy. Teddy, I'm with you on everything you're saying right now. Man, I'll tell you one thing. I don't know if you caught the end. Well, damn straight, baby. I don't know if you caught the ending of that Blue Jay game yesterday. I mean, an absolute crucial series for the Jays. They pull it out 3-1 in wins against Boston. But what a game yesterday, man. Down 8-4 going into the 8th. Springer with a tying home run, I think. I was in the pool at the time, but hell of a game. I had it on in the background. Teddy, I heard you got annoyed at Steve Merrill for watching diving at the Olympics. What's up with that, man? Why are you always getting annoyed at our guests and hosts?
I wasn't annoyed with him. I was making fun of him. Me making fun of someone is not me being annoyed at them. I'm annoyed at you all the time, but it's easy because I get to make fun of you. Okay. Mostly. But no, I was just like, I couldn't, I can understand clicking and being, and whatever. I clicked on the 400-meter hurdles or something, and I ended up watching the race. But then, as soon as the race is over, you click off. And Merrill's like, no, I was watching diving for X amount of time. I'm like, okay, dude. And then afterwards, he's like, no, it was only like 10 minutes. But when he was first describing, he's like, oh, no, I was watching diving forever last night. So I had to make fun of him. That's it. Olympics over yet? God, I hope so. Soon.
Yeah, Olympics are over. Next up, football, baby. Teddy, what do you say next week? Me and you, we do the AFC every day, a different division. Just the two of us. What do you say? Okay, there we go. So you guys watching next week, starting Monday, Teddy and I will do each division, the bets that we can find inside of each division, and the following we'll do the NFC. Also, my NFL presidential address goes up today. I do a very deep dive into the AFC East, so check that out. It's $9 Mondays today, Teddy. I have a 5% NFL futures bet, the first futures bet I have ever released in my life. That's how strong I feel about this play. You guys can grab it for $9. What do you got going?
I'm fascinated by what your play is now. Is it like a division play, a win total play?
It's a division. It's a division play. It says it right. It says it right in the sales pitch, bro. Teddy covers Lawrence Presman, WagerTalk Today. Guys, just a quick reminder, Steve Merrill will be sitting in my seat Tuesday and Thursday this week. Marco D'Angelo joining us, and well, it doesn't get harder than Marco, and I'm not talking about physically. Marco, 19-5 run, is that correct?
That is correct. We had an 8-2 weekend. Good. Everything's falling into place, guys. Football, baseball. We even had some horses over the weekend. We turned yesterday. We gave out one horse at Del Mar, $140 wager, brought back a $391 profit. So just everything clicking right now. Things are good here.
Well, that's nice to hear, dude. I like that. 19-5, outstanding stuff. Congratulations. Let's get right into it. Cincinnati, man, this Reds team, are they going to be this team that is so good and can't find their way into the playoffs? 61-51 on the season. Castillo tonight, 6-10 record. They're playing Cleveland. Their pitcher, 7.86 ERA, 2 whip. How the hell do we bet this game, Marco?
Well, the way we bet it, Prez, and until the market corrects itself, I think the biggest value in baseball right now are the first 5 innings. And if you can do the first 5 innings and lay a half a run with these teams that are just rolling, and when you get a huge pitcher mismatch like we've got tonight, you look at the numbers with Castillo, he just towers over the Cleveland starter. This is a no-brainer for me. I'm first 5 innings. I'm going to lay a half a run with the Reds. You look at what they're doing. They've won 5 in a row. They've won 10 of their last 12. They've moved within 5 games of Milwaukee, and they're getting themselves also in the wild card chase. Yeah. And I know there's 3 good teams out in the West, and everybody says all 3 of those will make it. Yeah, it looks that way. But when we get down to those dog days, the final weeks of the season, when they're playing each other, when they're not playing the Arizonas and the Colorados in the division, those 3 start beating up on one another. Cincinnati has a very good shot to sneak in the back door here and at least get a wild card, and they're doing it with offense. They've scored 5 runs or more in 14 of their last 16 games. That's another reason why I don't have a problem laying a half a run with them on the first 5-inning wager. So that's it for me here in this first game. Take Cincy first 5 minus the half run.
Now, Luis Castillo has one of the, when you talk about a midseason turnaround, you talk about a guy whose season-long numbers do not correlate with his current form. I don't know there's anyone in baseball. You talked about one of the guys that you've been really trying to pay attention to. And, the numbers don't lie with Castillo. And, of course, I'm struggling to get him and pull up. Give me just a second. I know they're here somewhere. There we go. Over his first he started the season 1-8 with a 7.22 ERA. In his last dozen starts, 5-2 with a .91 ERA, and it's been one dominant outing after the next. What did Castillo do for the turnaround? And is this a guy who we're only looking at first 5? Because this is why the Reds aren't going to make the playoffs, because their bullpen's not good enough, and that's why it's cost Cincy enough already, and I expect it to continue to cost them down the stretch. But is this Cincy one of these teams we're only looking at first 5s with the Reds because of those bullpen concerns? And Castillo right now, number 1 bet on pitcher in baseball? Give me your take.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you said, Teddy, as far as Cincinnati and how you wager them. There's certain teams that you look at and you put them in categories. They're full game teams or they're first 5-inning teams. And the problem with most of the bullpens this year, there's more teams in that first 5-inning column than there are, that you want to take the full game. Now, there's different situations where, maybe you're going against the team that their top 2 closers are not available because they went long back-to-back games, and you're not going to see them, or if you do see them, they're going to be compromised. So you might feel better taking a full game wager. But Cincinnati definitely is not one of those teams right now. I want first 5. And you talk about Castillo. There are just some guys, and I know Mark Lawrence is a good friend of WagerTalk and over at Sports Memo, and he's kept stats over the years, and Ralph as well. Certain pitchers, Teddy, have better opening months. Their off-season program maybe is better or whatever, and they come into the season ready. And there's other pitchers that dominate in the second half of the season, whether it be the hotter weather, whether they're just in better physical condition, the humidity, the type of baseball that they throw. There's different factors into that, just like there's different factors of some guys are more effective in the daytime than they are at nighttime. So you know what? It ain't broke. I'm not looking to fix it with Castillo. Whatever he did and found the elixir, this guy has been, just absolutely dynamite the second half of the season, and I'll continue to ride him, especially with a pitcher mismatch like you have today.
Marco D'Angelo. One guy harder than Castillo the second half of the season, and that's Marco D'Angelo. 19-5 run, 23-10 since the All-Star break. That's outstanding. You've made $100 bettors over $4,000. Not Bitcoin or Ethereum kind of numbers, but hey, both of those basically doubled in 2 days in the last 2 weeks. So you can't be held to that high a regard, Marco. I wonder if anyone on the show ever mentioned to anybody to buy those two coins. Let's move on. Yankees, Kansas City, and man, it felt like the Yankees were never going to lose again. They lost last night 2-0 to Seattle. They are on a 5-1, 8-2 run. Kansas City, this team won last night 6-5 against St. Louis, but they're doing nothing. Six losses in their last 9 games. I will tell you this, Marco. Every time so far this year I have bet against the Royals, they have won. So I'm not going anywhere near this team. What do you like here?
I hate correcting my esteemed colleague, but both of those games were day games yesterday. You kept saying last night. And the only reason I point that out is because it's a very big factor with the New York Yankees. A couple of weeks ago on your show, I pointed out the Houston Astros. They are day and night difference when they play day and night. The New York Yankees is another one of those teams, Prez. At night, they are 46-24. However, in the daytime, they are just 15-26 this year. And how many people ran to the window blindly yesterday when they looked at that low line on the Yankees at home? Yeah, it was a no-name pitcher on the hill, but that should tell you everything you need to know, because they could put out a statue at Yankee Stadium, and they're always going to be a favorite against, a lesser team. So that was a big alarm there. And if you follow those breakdowns, you would have known the Yankees not a good daytime team. That said, tonight's game is a night game, and we're catching Kansas City returning home off of a 3-city road trip. Now, I know they're not going to be flat because it's the Yankees coming to town. You always get up for the Yankees, but it's still a fact. You've been on the road for 10 days. You come home, no day off in between. Your family hasn't seen you in 10 days. It is a distraction, and the Yankees are one of those teams right now that are streaking. They're 10-3 in their last 13 games. I'm going to look for them to start this road trip on a winning note. Now, the line's a little bit high. If you don't want to lay the price, you can look to go -1.5 full game. But here's one where, I'll go ahead and lay it with the Yankees. Bullpen's been much better than they were a month, 6 weeks ago when they had that bad stretch. I like this team right now. They're a team to be reckoned with. And I agree with you, Prez. Kansas City has gotten me a couple times when they found a way to jump up and win a game, but I don't see it tonight. Jameson Taillon for the Yankees is pitching very well right now. And a little interesting stat on him. In his career, and remember, until this year, that career was with the Pittsburgh Pirates. So makes this stat even better. He's 11-3 when he's coming off back-to-back games where he gave up 2 runs or less, 2 earned runs or less in his pitching on the road. 11-3, and consider a good portion of that was with the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's an awesome stat.
So I want to ask you about that Yankees day-night dichotomy, I guess we'll call it, because no other team in baseball is close. Being 11 games under 500 during the day and 22 games over 500 at night. Is that random? Is that the Yankees are drinking every night and they can't get up early? Is that they're a way better team than their record would indicate because of that? And their night record is really what this team is truly about? What do you make? I mean, and even if there's no reason for it, do we just keep betting it?
Well, again, it's something that it is an in-season stat. And, I'll quote one of our, friends from, the days of the Tuesday meetings, Teddy. Sean Hess, longtime, handicapper and sports bettor here in Vegas. He would how many times would he say, you know what? It's happening right now. And until it loses, I don't want to hear anything about it, whether it's, if there's an angle or not. And, if this was the old days with the Bambino, playing and everything, yeah, they might be out drinking. But why it is, you can't put, anything on it to, pinpoint it specifically for me, but it's an angle as far as handicapping. That's what we're paid to do. Because again, this is why I am so big on different situations, Teddy, because when people are plugging the numbers in, they're looking at the season numbers on this team. Do you think Vegas is totally adjusting the line because it's a day-night game with the Yankees? Do you think they're making that much of a move? Because especially with a team that's a public team, public team like the Yankees, they know they're going to get money no matter what. So you have to find where the value is. And to me, they're an underrated commodity, an overrated commodity day and night. Take the advantage of where it's there. You always say, buy low, sell high. That's what we're looking for. And I think you got value with the Yankees in that dichotomy.
Marco D'Angelo, everyone. And Marco, it is $9 Monday over at WagerTalk.com. Anybody's play, only $9. Guys, please head over there and grab Marco's play. Do you have one before I say that? I do.
We have a play, and it is up and available right now. It's backed by several winning angles. If you like the stuff I give you here on the show, you can head over there, buy that play for $9. And more importantly, you get the angles so you can use them again as the season progresses when they arise.
Perfect. Marco D'Angelo joining us, co-founder of WagerTalk.com. And Marco, let's turn our attention to some NFL preseason. I know we had a game last week, but technically week one of the preseason starts now. And Jacksonville finds themselves at -2 against the Cleveland Browns, a total of 37.5. And, before you break this game down completely, a question, and that is, I want to hear how you attack the NFL preseason because, for me, I don't bet a lot of it, but I am looking to take bad teams with new coaches trying to sort of change their culture. And that is what I see with Jacksonville. I haven't handicapped this game, but right off the bat, from my perspective, I see Jacksonville as the play here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you in Jacksonville, and I'm going to actually tell you a couple ways to look at this game. But as far as attacking the preseason, Prez, this is the only time of the year where you can read, and if you listen to coach speak and listen to all of the interviews and follow the beat writers, you're going to get a very, very good idea of what the game plan is. There are going to be coaches that like to win in the preseason, and the two of them right off the top are Coach Harbaugh and Coach Zimmer. We've all made a ton of money following those guys because they play to win. It doesn't matter when it is, they play to win. Now, with that said, you've got a coach here in the Cleveland Browns that was a disciple of Coach Zimmer at Minnesota. This is his second year as head coach. We got nothing to work with from last year's preseason because there was none. So the speculation is going to be, is the apple going to fall far from the tree? Is he going to attack the preseason the way they did in Minnesota? You saw a huge line move on this game. Cleveland opened the favorite in this game, and now Jacksonville's the favorite. Why? Well, obviously, there's a lot of hype about the Jacksonville Jaguars and the number 1 draft pick, Urban Meyer, becoming the head coach. But Stefanski has inkled to the press that, he's not, maybe going to play Baker at all in the first week. That's a huge situation when you look at something else that you got to watch in preseason. What are the quarterback rotations? When are the teams going to have a huge edge? And Jacksonville, yes, they're going to get Trevor Lawrence reps in preseason. He's your number 1 draft pick. You got to get him ready. If you're going to start him for the season, he's your guy. You want him to have reps. But look at what's coming in behind him. You're going to have Gardner Minshew and C.J. Beathard. Both of these guys started in the NFL, games in the last couple of years, significant games. That is a huge edge with this team when you go to the second half and go to the rotations, and you're looking at, third and fourth string players at the end of the game. So for me in this one, I'm going to go a small play on Jacksonville for the full game wager. I'm going to sit there and watch and hope that Cleveland takes a lead in this game. If they take a lead early, I'm going to jump in with the adjusted line on Jacksonville, because the longer this game goes, the bigger your advantage is going to be with Jacksonville. And one thing else, I'm going to give one tip for players this year with the preseason, and it's a rule change this year, but it's really the same thing when you're playing preseason football and you've got numbers that are 1, 1.5, or 2. Don't lay the point spread, lay the money line with those games, because preseason, nobody wants a tie. Well, this year, there is no ties, okay? There will not go to overtime. So even if it ends in a tie, we don't have to worry about the extra frame. But you always saw at the end of the game, a team's going to always go for 2, not to have the opportunity for the tie. And that's why you don't want to be sitting there with a 1 or 1.5 or 2, because you're screwed no matter what happens.
Breathe, Marco.
A lot of info I fired off there.
Dude, you weren't watching Teddy's face while you were going on. Teddy was like, I got to talk. Do I go now? Do I go now? Do I go now?
Nope.
Hey, Teddy, the mic is yours.
I just want to ask Marco a follow. You talked about the quarterback rotation for the Jaguars after Trevor Lawrence sits with Minshew and Beathard. I haven't seen anything from the Jags about the rotation of the QBs yet. I haven't seen anything about what their offensive line, their third string and fourth string offensive line look like. I don't know what their third and fourth string receiving core looks like. Is the quarterback rotation for you enough alone to give the Jags credit, or are you going to wait and see, hey, maybe the Jags it'll be a stronger play if the Jags actually have some linemen and receivers that you've heard of before on the field for this one?
Yeah, I always, I'm going to say 90% of the cases, I wait till game day in preseason. Now, last week I did put my game up early, and the reason for that was it was the Hall of Fame game, and I was on an under, and I needed to get the best number I could get because I knew the sharps would agree with me and bet the under on that preseason game, just because of the fact of the offensive line problems that the Steelers are going to have to address this year and what their agendas are going to be. And that's something else that is a key part of the game, Teddy, when you're doing preseason, is you do want to know those agendas by the coaches. One last thing with Jacksonville that we didn't talk about, and we have nothing to go by. This is just, a gut feel. And I'm going to ask you, we know that Urban Meyer, no matter where he's been, has been a coach that never took his foot off the gas pedal. Do you think that makes him more likely to be an aggressor in the preseason and a play on than a play against, because there's going to be Urban Meyer hype?
The answer, my answer to that is I have no idea, and I don't want to make assumptions. Urban Meyer, certainly in college with the lead, was very comfortable running up scores. But, he's not in Kansas anymore. This isn't college. And I would expect to see potentially a different game plan completely from Urban Meyer in this preseason, because there are no preseason games in college. But the bottom line is we don't know. And the one thing I've learned over 23 years betting these preseasons, if you don't know, don't try to say that you know. Don't try to think that you know. Just say, I don't know. And when I don't know stuff, I tend to
here's what I know. Here's what I know. I know that the segment went really, really long. Guys, please hit that like button. Marco did an outstanding job. Marco, we couldn't keep your segment short if we gave you one game to do. But your handicapping is incredible. I'm not complaining, man. I mean, we always learn something when you are on. You've promoted. You've got a $9 play up. We've spoken enough. Get the hell out of here. Guys, quick break. Teddy's big game breakdown, Tony Mejia, and of course the presidential daily presidential address.
What's so special at WagerTalk that only happens twice per year? It's the WagerTalk $199 30-day all-access special. Why is this $199 special even bigger? This $199 special starts Sunday, August 15th throughout Monday, September 13th. But by signing up now, you'll receive every play through Sunday, August 15th as a free bonus. Does this $199 package include football? Yes, of course it does. As with every all-access package, you receive every play that your favorite capper releases. That includes NFL preseason, college football through week 2, NFL week 1, MLB action, plus any CFL, KBO, soccer, UFC, or golf that your favorite handicapper releases. Every play, every sport, all for 30 days and all for just $199. If you have never tried a 30-day all-access package at under $7 per day, including football, what are you waiting for?
It is time for today's big game breakdown. And yeah, we're talking MLB for tonight. There's no NFL preseason just yet. We'll do NFL preseason games later in the week. For today, I want to talk about the Twins and the White Sox. Looking at the WagerTalk live odds screen as we speak. Right now, we're looking at about minus 190, let's call the prevailing number for Chicago. Take back on Minnesota in the plus 175 range. And I think the Twins are live dogs today. Two reasons we're looking at the Minnesota side in this one. First, think about what's happened in Minnesota over the last couple of weeks. The veterans all get traded away. Barrios goes, Nelson Cruz goes. They go on this long, brutal road trip. And what happens? They have a winning road trip. They take a series against the Astros. The quotes coming out of this team, out of this locker room right now, are positive ones. I haven't seen that from Minnesota all year. You know, Rocco Baldelli, manager. I hope this road trip right now, especially this past series, sets the tone for the rest of the year. I think it's a good series to look back on and build off of. The way our guys went out there, competed out there all series, the entire road trip was exactly what we are looking for. So this is a team that the markets have crashed on, all right, that nobody wants to bet right now, that, oh, by the way, is coming off their best, one of their best road trips of the year, certainly the best road trip in months for Minnesota. The other side of the equation here is a White Sox team in a potential letdown spot, coming off a huge series against the Cubs, a series sweep against the Cubs. And you have Giolito on the hill. And if there's one thing, you look at Giolito in division versus out of division. The teams that see him all the time smack him around. The teams that don't see him all the time, he fools them. Coming off a rough start, the Royals beat him up last time. The Tigers have beaten up a couple times this year. He's had a decent track record against Minnesota, but again, it's a Twins team that's seen him plenty before. Wouldn't argue with the first five, wouldn't argue with the full game. But Minnesota is the way I'm looking in this one. I want no part of the White Sox as road chalk at Target Field this evening. Give me the Twins. First five, full game, however you choose to bet it. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
Teddy covers big game breakdown, everybody. Let's bring Tony Mejia in. Tony, I love having you on the show, man. Welcome to WagerTalk Today. And how have you been?
Pretty good. Just ready to get into football. So been starting my process of cramming into that, trying to get up on college and pro. And, you know, it's a lot of managing, looking at Twitter accounts, following the beat writers and writing notes every day based on who gets injured and whatnot and what they divulge, which for college coaches isn't much. NFL, as Marco stated, at least this time of year, they really do tell you what they're looking for in practices and preseason games. Yeah. So I'm a big advocate of betting the preseason.
Tony, let's get straight to it, man. Look, Marco just went on and on and on. So we are without question running out of time here, but let's talk about the Marlins Padres game tonight and Thompson versus Musgrove, and both pitchers with ERAs in under 3. Musgrove, fascinating, 7-7 with a 2.87 ERA and an 0.97 WHIP, and yet He's 500 on a team that is winning all the time. How do we handicap this game? Padres big chalk favorite.
Well, to me, Zach Thompson still hasn't proven much. He's got decent stuff, but he's a rookie. He's out on the West Coast, and the Marlins have just lost 3 straight in Colorado. The Fish are 20-38 on the road. That's certainly not as bad as the Rockies or the Diamondbacks. It's not great. It would be in the bottom 5, bottom 7, I would think. And the Padres are tied with a couple other teams for the most wins in Major League Baseball at home. The home factor is also a big deal with Joe Musgrove. He's a San Diego kid. The no-hitter that he threw, the first in Padres history, came in Arlington, but his best work has come at home. Despite a 4-4 record at home, the batters are hitting 198 against him. He's got 81 strikeout to 17 walk, K to walk ratio. So I like what I'm getting from Musgrove. The Marlins are still working without Don Mattingly because he's unable to travel due to COVID. So acting manager is James Rowson. It's not a great situation to come in off of getting swept. And now you got to play in San Diego where they're feeling pressure to keep pace with the Giants and Dodgers. So great spot for the run line, lay the 1.5 to minimize juice and hope to come out on top here.
So it's a San Diego team that they came out of the All-Star break in those first, they scored 24 that first game against the Nationals and 10 the next night. Since that time, they're a 500 team. I see them losing as -170, -155, -215, -200, -190, -220 against Arizona in the opener. Significant money losers for their backers and losing consistently as chalk as a pretty mediocre team with a lineup that's not hitting a whole lot. I understand the Marlins' woes, but are the Padres really the type of team you want to lay a chalk price with? Or is this a story, hey, let's lay the 1.5, let's not lay any chalk, and if they lose, so be it. At least we're not getting burned in that same way.
Yeah, and it's a -112, -115 from the numbers I've seen. So I'm going to do exactly what I said earlier with run line over the chalk. Good points on that. But they do come in with consecutive wins over the D-backs, so they took that series. They split against the A's. Maybe this is the time where they'll build momentum because they've really got to get moving here. Sweep the Marlins. It gives them 5 straight wins before they go on the road, and they play at Arizona and at Colorado. You can really make some inroads here if you're San Diego and you get going.
Tony, let's turn our attention to the NFL preseason week 1. The Rams find themselves +3.5 playing against the Chargers, a total of 34. What are you doing in this game?
Well, this line moved because Sean McVay made no secret that he's not playing Matthew Stafford in the preseason. So it's going to be all the backup quarterbacks. 2 of them are new. Bryce Perkins from Virginia will probably see significant time in here. They also got Hodges, who comes over from Pittsburgh, who played some when Ben Roethlisberger went down. None of these guys have significant experience, and McVay has already said, I'm basically punting on the preseason because I don't want to expose my guys to injuries. And he's 1-2 in preseason week 1s throughout his career. This is a situation where it's Brandon Staley's debut for the Chargers. They probably want to build up some momentum. And he actually says it depends on practice this week whether the Chargers starters will play, but he's open to the possibility of it. That's enough for me in a sense of where the motivation to actually win a game would lie, and it's with the LA Chargers over the LA Rams.
So Staley, of course, was the coordinator for McVay last year. Is that one of those situations where the one coaching staff is going to be more familiar with what the other coaching staff is going to want to do? Or is that really a non-factor for a preseason game? In theory, one would think that would be an advantage for the Chargers over the Rams in the Battle of LA.
Yeah, essentially, Teddy, it's familiarity. If me and you go into a contest and say, hey, let's just not get anybody hurt, we know what the bigger picture is. The fact that these coaches were on the same staff, because you're probably not going to get many surprises. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of the Rams UCF guys. Jacob Harris, the tight end, is there. Otis Anderson Jr. Is trying to make the team as a running back. So can Rams surprise? Sure, but if the Chargers go into it and play more of their second and third stringers whereas McVay is going to the four stringers pretty quickly in the second half. That's where you should be able to cover your 3.5.
Tony, let's talk NBA futures really quickly at that, if you don't mind.
Sure.
And guys, please hit
problem.
that like button. I mean, for some reason, we got 5 thumbs down. 4 of them were for Marco, and the 5th one was for Marco. So guys, hit the thumbs up. Let's go, please, Tony. Warriors Nuggets. You want to talk about both those teams? Warriors 8-1, Nuggets 20-1. I'll hand the mic over to you. Sit back and listen.
All right. Well, I'm just saying that at this point, you should not be betting the Brooklyn Nets as a favorite. Even with Kevin Durant looking great and leading the U.S. to an Olympic gold medal, Harden, Kyrie Irving, too volatile in terms of injuries and whatnot to put them in that role. Obviously, they were going to be the betting favorite had Harden not gotten hurt, and they'd probably get by the Bucks in that series. But the East is going to be a bear, and you got the 76ers. We're still waiting for the Simmons shoe to drop, but between the 76ers, the defending champion Bucks, the improved Bulls, the improved Knicks, the Atlanta Hawks with Trae Young, the Miami Heat, who have now Kyle Lowry on that squad, a lot of other factors on that team in that conference. And in the West, the Lakers are the probably rightful favorite, but I don't love the Russell Westbrook fit. Klay Thompson's coming back for Golden State. We'll see if they make a move for Simmons. It would cost Andrew Wiggins, and I think Daryl Morey has to play ball because his initial asking price was way too high, and obviously nobody paid it. And then the Denver Nuggets, they return Nikola Jokic, an improved Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon there for a full season, and the X Factor. You get Jamal Murray back at some point next year. And he's a proven shot maker at 20-1. I kind of like the Nuggets because few can match up with Jokic, and he's only getting better.
So real quick, Tony, I want to ask you, based solely on free agency in the draft, which team improved the most this offseason and which team suffered the biggest loss?
I mean, I think the Bulls improved the most because I didn't see them coming. And I really like getting Lonzo Ball in there as a major upgrade because he doesn't, he's a facilitator where Zach LaVine is going to be that scorer. And they add DeMar DeRozan, who's going to be a great mid-range shooter for them and another shot creator. And they bring back Nick Vucevic, who they acquired at the trade deadline. So that's a fearsome foursome right there. I think the Bulls are going to be a factor. Billy Donovan can obviously coach. Who is the biggest loser? Well, that's a good question. Off the top of my head, I really can't come up with one. I like what the Pistons did in the draft. Washington, I guess, they're punting, and we'll see if they move Bradley Beal. Wes Unseld Jr. a little bit underwhelming. I think they're built to tank for the next couple of years, so I'll ride with them.
Tony Mejia. Tony, thanks so much for joining us, man. What do you got to promote on $9 Mondays?
I will have baseball play later for $9 Monday, and then we're diving into the preseason week 1. Maybe taking advantage of John Harbaugh's gaudy record. John Gruden 10-0 week 1, NFL fantasy, NFL preseason.
Excellent stuff. Thanks for joining us, guys. It's time for the daily presidential address. Let's go. Oh, it's time for the daily presidential address. And for you guys on Twitter, make sure to check out WagerTalk Today. We had an outstanding show. Marco D'Angelo off the top, couple of baseball games and an NFL preseason game. Tony Mejia as well joined us. An NFL preseason game, a baseball game, and he gave out some NBA futures. It was an outstanding show. Just a quick pat on the back to the Prez. 4 Canadian football games this past weekend. I told you guys to bet all the unders blind. These teams hadn't played in 2 years. Their offenses were going to be completely out of sync. We went 3-1 to the under. Same thing applies moving forward for this week as well. So keep betting the unders in the Canadian Football League. As for, well, I'm on a roll, guys, flat out. I won almost every play this weekend. My all sports run right now is 4-0 and 43 and 21. My baseball run 25 and 13. I have an NFL future 5% play up at WagerTalk. It's $9. So head over. Tomorrow it'll be 35. Here are your free picks for today. We're going with the run line. We're going with the run line on the Reds, on the Yankees, and on the Padres. -1.5 for all of them. I know that seems super square, but if you listen to Wager Talk today, Teddy at the top of the show pointed out the favorites are winning. They're 55 and 18 in the last 5 days. I don't think anything is going to change. I mean, I don't expect those kind of numbers, but I think we're going to see the big favorites consistently win in the month of August. But you got to take them on the run line. All three of those teams can hit. Reds, Yankees, and Padres on the run line. We'll see you all tomorrow. Teddy, take us home.
Sure, that's going to wrap it for the Monday edition of Wager Talk today. We'll do it again tomorrow, same time, same channel, 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon for you on the East Coast. If you want more football talk, I'll be doing the opening line report with Drew Martin right here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel in just about 15 minutes. All that said, enjoy the games today. Good luck tonight.
Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at WagerTalk.com. All daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including $40 5% best bets. As an added bonus, all new users will receive $25 in wager bucks credited to their accounts, available for immediate use after their initial $9 Monday purchase. So make sure to take advantage of $9 Mondays at WagerTalk.com.